Lokati here. Today we are going to be going over our current div farming strategy. We're going to be farming essences and selling essences on the market for currency. This has done very well. Very, very well. I'm averaging somewhere around 15 to 17 div an hour right now. And I don't have the best idols yet, so you could do a lot better per hour rate. I'm also not a very fast player in general, so I'm always going to farm a little bit slower than someone who has stronger builds or just is very, very, very much better at the game than me. So we'll talk about it here. This centers around essences, so we need 3 relic types. First, you're going to need a Conqueror idol. You need 4 of these. These are 2x2s that you need additional imprisoned monsters and 1 essence of the highest tier possible. Now that's going to be super pricey. So if you're starting out and you just want to start making currency, only get at least 1 essence of the highest tier possible. That's going to be like 1 div-ish for that idol currently, today, market changes. And then later on you can get 2 additional imprisoned monsters on top of that. You're also going to need 3x1s. You need both types to fit in here. And these 3x1s need additional essences and additional imprisoned monsters. And then you need 4 1x1s. These need to have additional essences and chance for an additional monster. If you have all of these idols, 4 of each of them, on average you're going to see between 16 to 22 imprisoned monsters in the map. We're using essences to add imprisoned monsters and SCARABs to add imprisoned monsters. So if you don't have Conqueror idols with 2 additional, you'll have 16, and then 18 if you have 1, 20 if you have 2, so on and so forth. And then you're going to average, after all of this, about 5 essences per mob. So that's 64 to 110 essences, depending on how many imprisoned monsters you have in your map. Because of your Conqueror idols, essences sell for somewhere between 2 to 2.5 chaos on the average. If the value of divs rises, the value of essences will tend to rise. So it'll always be a proportional amount to what a chaos to div conversion is. So essentially, you're going to get between 64 and 110 deafening essences per map because there's an average of 5 essences per mob. You're going to get an average of 2 to 2.5 chaos per deafening essence. This is going to net you somewhere between 160 to 330 chaos per map, which is 1.3-ish div to 2.8 div per map. So we'll just call it 1 to 3 div per map. You're going to average about 1 to 3 div per map, depending on your idle investment that you have on your build right now. In 10 sets of maps, you need to buy 10 Ascent Scarabs, which guarantee deafening essences instead of shrieking. And you need 40 Essence Scarabs to get all of your essences. And then you need 10 maps. And so we'll say like 1 div for 10 good maps to farm, 1 div for 10 Ascent Essences, 1 div for 40 Essence Scarabs. That's currently today what it is. It probably won't vary too much from that unless, of course, this becomes very popular. So you're spending 3 divs for 10 sets of maps, and you're netting between 1 to 3 div per map. That means that you are netting a tremendous amount of currency. You're going to minimum about 7 divs for 10 sets of maps, maximum 27 divs for 10 sets of maps. RNG can come into play a little bit, but this is a pretty consistent farm. The average cost of getting started right now is somewhere between 300 and 400 chaos to get like 1 of these or 2 of these and then all these other ones. And that'll get you started on a farm. Probably a perfect relic setup is going to be somewhere around 30 div. So if you want to be making 28 div per 10 sets of maps, you're going to need to spend about 30 div to get your idols going. I don't have that right now. I'm kind of in the middle. I've only got 1 of the 2 additional imprisoned monster idols on the character right now, and it's doing very, very well. Now, every farming strategy should show the strategy, so we'll hop into a map right now and see how it goes. Now, I choose to do it on City Square because City Square is a relatively large map, but a very easy layout. And you do need a large map in order to have enough creatures on the map to actually give you the number of spawns that you're going to get. And you can see these guys are pretty tanky. My build does somewhere around 20 million DPS, and these guys also do a lot of damage. And my build has somewhere around 300k EHP and very, very good recovery. So you do need a relatively strong build for this. This is not a farm on a nothing build strategy. But as you can see, the deafening essences dropped are very consistent. You will occasionally have one or two of these guys in here that don't have a lot of essences on them, like this guy right here. He's only got 2 deafening essences on him. But then occasionally you'll get ones that have 5, 6, 7. And as you can see in the Whisperers, we get lots and lots of sales. You can sell these straight to Faustus, but that does cost gold. And the currency exchange is probably a little bit higher from Faustus than you would get from direct player trades. However, the amount of essences you're selling are going to be very, very expensive trying to sell it for Chaos Orbs. So if you're going to use Faustus, I would probably recommend that you use a div conversion, so farm up enough that you can sell them in bulks of however many of them they sell for per div. Otherwise, I think you're going to be unable to sustain the gold that it takes to sell it to Faustus. But the trade website is still a very good way to do it. Another strategy is also to just save up a lot of them, farm consistently and hard, not deal with any trades, and then at the very end use a website or a Discord like TFT, Wealthy Exile, sell them in bulk, and you can sell all of them at once for 20, 30, 40 div, depending on your farming. You can see these guys get incredibly tanky and do a ton of damage. So make sure that you've got a very strong build. You can 6 portal this if you need to, and most of these essence mobs don't have a lot of really special abilities. And since they don't have a lot of special abilities, they're also kiteable. So if you've got a ranged class, a totem class, a mining class, it makes it a little bit easier. Now, since we're not doing any other mechanics in here, we're only killing imprisoned monsters, and the map layout is relatively good. We actually don't spend a lot of time in the map. I probably spend on average about an hour for 10 maps. That's because I'm trading and mapping and going and doing my Boats and Kings March and talking to other people. If you were just blasting this, you could probably complete 20 maps in an hour. You should always kill the boss here. They do drop idols that are very valuable. Make sure you're taking the time to come over and kill this boss. And then that's pretty much it on this map. There might be a few little something left over here, and we'll check this corner to see if Rog is hiding in essence. Rog is hiding in essence. I'd say that map probably felt about average. Nothing special, nothing great. Pretty much what you're going to see. As far as the rewards from that one map, we've got 5, 10, 15, 25, 35, 45, 7, 55, 164. So about average. We got about somewhere between 60 and 70 of those essence, and they're going to sell for an average of about 2 to 2.5 a piece. If they're all deafenings and you're not counting the kings, then probably 3 chaos a piece on average. It's a very, very solid profit. It goes quick, fairly straightforward. It's definitely a great farming strategy if you just want to like mindlessly slam imprisoned mobs and generate a large amount of currency. because it doesn't require a lot of thought process to get it going. So it's definitely something I enjoy. I recommend doing it. Keep farming. Make sure that you avoid Einhar on your idols. Einhar can infect your imprisoned mobs, making them 10 times stronger than they need to be. So get idols that do not have Einhar. The other stuff that is on them, we're not going to run them, but like this one, I really need to change because I don't want this Einhar coming in on my map, and he does come in about half of the time on my map, and then makes it just take longer to kill the imprisoned monsters because these Einhar imprisons have a ridiculous amount of health. If you have any questions, just drop a comment down below. I'll include some of the mental math in the comments. I'll also include some trade item searches so you can get these idols so that you can start getting it put together. Other than that, thank y'all very much. Have a wonderful day. Peace.